Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. My question has to do with power tilers that was promised in your 2016 manifesto. And having been the minister over the last 4 years, I'm sure you would have some ideas about the power tilers. In 2018 budget of the government, it was stated that the government intends to distribute 1,000 power tilers and 1,000 power tilers. Is it less? I mean, yes. Okay. Very well. Very well. Power tilers. And then in the 2020 budget, government indicated that it had imported the 1,000 power tillers. There is, however, no evidence to suggest that these power tillers have been distributed to the farmers. Can you tell the committee whether they have been distributed and who the beneficiaries are?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Yes, indeed. We imported these power tillers from Brazil, and specifically power tillers because we wanted farm machinery technology which would be suitable to smallholder agriculture, not these huge tractors that are beyond their means and even for hiring. So yes, we brought the 1,000 power tillers in. We've distributed all of them except for a few. We invited Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman, to our site.
And you're watching the vetting ongoing in Parliament right now here on the Joy News channel. We just have to take a very quick break. At this point is Dr. Owusu Afriyie, a Greek minister, designates key issues that have been discussed or that has had answers from him due to the questioning. Of course, planting for food and jobs, the employment that it has created or not, cocoa production, mechanization of Ghana's agricultural space or industry, smuggling of fertilizers and tomato production. We'll be right back after these messages. Do stay with us.
Unless that is being denied.
So you just said that food security is what matters most. So let me then take you there. You were asked about the prices of 100 kilos of maize. And this were when you gave the answer, you said in 2020, that's last year, December, it was about 172 per 100 kilo and 127 in 2019, around the same time, 133 over the same period in 2018, and 92 Ghana cedis in 2017, around the same time. Looking at this trend, do you say, or do you tell the people of this country that the planting for food and agriculture has brought about stability in the prices of at least maize?
Mr. Chairman, there's no planting for food and agriculture in this country.
Planting for food and jobs, sorry.
Can the question be repeated?
In an earlier answer to my question, when I was talking about that, no, I shouldn't be looking at the group, I should look at food security. And you say that the evidence is there, whether in Aswansi, and you mentioned so many other places, that, I mean, food security is guaranteed. And I then referred you that, okay, then let's go and look at the security of food. And I'm saying that from 2017, the price of maize has moved from 92 Ghana cedis to, in 2020 December, 172 Ghana cedis. And I'm asking you, do you tell the people of this country that that program, planting for food and jobs, have brought stability and therefore food security to them, looking at the jump of over 87 price in the price of maize alone?
There is a difference between price stability and food security. I think the questioner is mixing the two. The fact that there's not a price stability does not mean there's no food security. And I want to correct that impression.
I'll be very happy to be educated. Tell me the difference.
Mr. Chairman, the honorable member is saying he's a farmer, and he can't distinguish between the two.
Honorable, just please tell him the difference. It's not just for him, it's for all of us listening. Please.
Price stability is not food security. You can have fluctuations in price and so your security of food will be rising. That's the difference. It's not one and the same. That should not be the mistake.
Chairman, I'll be very happy he tells us what food security is. He's the Minister for Agri for the past 4 years. I challenge you, tell us what food security is.
The food security is exactly what you are seeing in this country in the last 4 years, where there's so much food, making everybody, all food prices down, even here at this time where we have the season of dryness, you still have all types of foods and fruits along. And I don't think I'm the only witness. Everybody will bear witness to the fact that you go to all markets, rural markets, urban markets.
Food security is availability of food. Is that right?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, all right. Just make it simple.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, it is not just availability. You can never define food security without inputting the price of the commodity. You can't. By any means possible. If you are going to define food security, in it embedded will be the cost element.
That's an opinion, Chairman.
It is not. Even though we are not going to litigate, because I believe that the good people of this country are listening to the experts. Mr. Chairman, in an earlier answer to a question about AMG, a company that has been supplying fertilizer, I just want to find out from the nominee whether he knows the owner of AMG.
This is a personal question, and I'm not prepared to answer personal questions.
Honorable Minister, if it is inadmissible, I will rule that it's not admissible. If you know the company, it's a company that works for.
Yes, the ministry.
The ministry. Do you know any such company?
The company doesn't work for the ministry. It is a contractor of the ministry. And there are loads and loads of companies that work for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, and they work for Cocoa Board, they work for GIDA, Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, they work for CMC, they work for all the institutions under the Ministry of Agriculture. So I have hundreds and hundreds of business people that we deal with in the office.
So that's why I'm asking you, this particular one, whether you know the owner.
Can he define what he means by no? Because, Mr. Chairman, in fairness to me, a lot of these, they come to my office or I meet them outside. Some of them I knew even before I became Minister for Food and Agriculture.
Honorable Minister, it's a company, is that right?
Yes.
It's a company, so there will be an owner, so to speak.
Yeah, so
if there's any specific person you want to ask, otherwise, owner will be inappropriate.
Any of the directors? Do you know any of the directors?
The directors are not necessarily owners of the company, but you said owner, and I don't know who owns AMG, but I know managers and some directors who work for that company. And so do I know managers and owners of directors of some of these many companies that I deal with.
So you also know some of the directors or managing director, managers of AgroWaves. AgroWave.
I don't.
Do you know Ernest Afriyie?
Who is he?
Asking whether you know Ernest Afriyie.
I want you to define what is no. If I somebody that
do you know any person called by that name?
Yes, I know someone called Ernest Afriyie.
Is he related to AMJ Company or Agro Wave?
I know that he's a director of AMG Company.
Do you have an idea when his company was registered?
How would I know? I don't have any idea about these companies. How do you expect me to know?
Are you aware that they've been supplying fertilizer to the planting for food and jobs over the past 4 years?
Oh, this is what I'm saying. Hundreds of companies have been supplying fertilizer to us.
Are you also aware that they alone supply close to 50% of all the fertilizers that are supplied to the ministry?
I'm not aware of that.
Mr. Minister nominee, the price of NPK fertilizer in the open market is about 110 cedis. Is that right?
I cannot have to check.
The subsidy on the fertilizer within the program Planting for Food and Jobs is, as your ministry put out, supposed to be 50%, right?
It has been up to now.
And farmers are asked to buy at the subsidized price of 85 cedis. Are you aware of this?
There are official prices for the 50% subsidy, which every farmer is supposed to pay. Of course, in some cases, either the retailers, there are all kinds of things which go on. So the policy is 50% subsidy. If anybody gets less than that, then they are being cheated out of pocket.
Are you aware that it is being sold to farmers as 85 cedis? That's the question I just asked.
I'm not aware.
Will you find out? Because that is the price at which farmers are being sold the fertilizer.
We have monitors, Honorable Chairman, we have people all over this country who monitor these things to us. And that has not been one of the complaints that we are getting. So I don't know where he's getting his information and how many farmers are paying 85 and so on and so forth. I am not aware at all. From the monitoring system that we have all over the country, we have no record of anyone reporting that they are selling above the subsidized price.
Mr. Chairman, in an answer to an earlier question, he was heard saying that Ghana's cocoa we sell at a premium of about between 200 to 300 British pounds. Is that right?
Chairman, can you repeat the question?
I'm saying that when you were answering the question earlier, you said that Ghana's cocoa is being sold at a premium of between 200 to 300 British pounds sterling.
Sometimes more, sometimes less, depends upon the market. I was just making an illustration.
And in 2019-2020 season, we ended with a little over 700,000 metric tons, right? Cocoa.
I wouldn't know.
Minister for Agri, you can't remember the tonnage that we sold Ghana's cocoa at?
I cannot come in front of this important committee and just give a figure. I have to be sure to the last unit what I'm saying. So basically I'm saying that I need to refer to the records, and I don't have those records here with me. Thank you.
Chairman, last year we did over 700 750,000 metric tons. And if I take even the 700,000 alone and use the bottom of 200 pounds, it gives us 140 million pounds that came by way of premium alone. And my question to the nominee is, how much of this has the farmers benefited?
I have to check with Ghana Cocoa Board.
Mr. Chairman, to Gapoha, when earlier questions were asked, I just want to find out from the nominee whether he directed the Gapoha authorities to issue a license to Food Terminal Company Limited.
No, I didn't.
And also an earlier answer to a question, you said that the Ministry of Food and Agriculture had an agreement with Gapoha for this terminal in 2008. Did I hear you say that?
Yes.
And was it in the name of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, or it was in the name of a different company?
Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
You said it was in the name of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and not Fruit Terminal Company Limited.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture had an agreement with the fruit exporters. I've forgotten the name of that they give to the fruit exporters. And that agreement was signed on behalf of the ministry and the government by the late Honorable Deborah, who was then the Minister of Food and Agriculture.
Have you made this statement anyway, that the Board of Fruit and Export Terminal Ghana Limited has created bottleneck to the export of fruits through the operations of this Fruit and Export Terminal Ghana Limited are unduly adding to the cost of supplying horticulture product export outside Ghana. Have you made this statement anywhere?
Never. A statement made outside my office or inside my office, no. There's been correspondence between me and the Minister for Transport, copied to Gapoha and the otherwise. But I've never made a statement that you are quoting.
In your letter to the Minister for Transport, did you make this allusion?
I have to read the letter again to say anything about the contents.
Are you aware that Gapoha had a concession agreement which was executed on May 18, 2015 with Fruit Export Terminal Company Limited?
I'm not aware.
Will you be surprised if you are told that this contract is still in force, that has been signed by Gapoha and Fruit Export Terminal Ghana Limited?
Mr. Chairman, nothing surprises me in this world.
As the Minister Designate for Food and Agriculture, if approved, will you want to see this concession terminated?
I am yet to be approved by this committee, and I'm not prepared to make any comment or speculate on any action for my future.
You are the Minister, you are the representative of the President at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture currently, and as we speak, you still have some authority of the President to act within the ministry. Will you want to see this contract or concession agreement terminated?
The instructions are that I'm just keeping the fort, not to make any commitment, financial or otherwise, in this capacity as acting in the name of the president. So I cannot.
Mr. Chairman, I want to find out from the nominee, from 2017-2018 cocoa season, whether the price of cocoa was increased. That is aware.
Which period again?
2017-2018 season. Whether you are aware whether the price of cocoa was increased for the ordinary farmer.
I have to check.
Do you remember the current price of cocoa per bag?
I have to check.
Mr. Chairman, in 2017, the price 2016-2017, the price of cocoa per bag in Ghana was 475 cedis. In 2017-2018, there was no increase. In 2018-2019 season, it was increased to 515, and then in 2019-2020 season, it was increased to 660. And Mr. Chairman, from 2017 all the way to 2020, the price increase is 39%. Mr. Chairman, I want to find out from the nominee whether he thought this pricing is fair to the farmer.
Honorable Chairman, it's really in my business is not to determine what is fair or not. These, according to the market conditions, are the prices given to the producers. So it's really not a question of fairness, or it's the reality of the market which dictates what producer price is given to the farmer at the time.
Mr. Chairman, I'm asking this because in relation to the price of maize and the way it's been increasing, you said that people should not just look at the nominal figure. They should be looking at the real. But when it comes to the cocoa farmer, where you have to pay, you had done just 39%. I wanted to know whether by that assertion with the maize pricing, whether you thought that in real terms, the farmer is not worse off.
I cannot make that assessment.
Mr. Chairman, I want to find out from the nominee, why has he eliminated cocoa revenue from the national budget since 2017?
This, Mr. Chairman, this is a question for the Minister for Finance.
Mr. Chairman, the reason why I'm asking is because the cocoa board used to be under the Minister of Finance, and they always report the revenues in the tables. And since it was ceded up to Minister of Agri, all of a sudden it vanished from our national budget, and since 2017 it has not. So that's why I'm asking why he had gotten it off the budget since 2017.
The law that took cocoa board back to Agri was just last year.
No, but we all were communicated that. Sorry.
If the reporting is not his business, he will just tell us, so we'll move on. Honourable Minister, are you responsible for reporting?
That's why, Mr. Chairman, I said that it's for the Minister of Finance to answer.
Mr. Chairman, the Afriyie Rice project, the collapse, in an earlier answer, he gave an answer that wasn't very clear. Can I get the understanding? In an earlier answer to a question about the Afriyie Rice project, about its collapse, I wasn't very clear about the answer you gave.
What he said was that there's a litigation with the ministry, and that is ongoing, and the private people have taken over the land. That was very clear in the record. So answer the question on that, if you may.
So if private persons are encroaching the land when the ministry is in litigation with the farm? What is the ministry doing to safeguard the land since they are in litigation?
We try our best with the resources we have, and it's not only Abaebe, it's all over the country. Lands of the ministry are being encroached left and right. We are fighting back, but it looks like a losing battle. But we are doing the best we can.
Mr. Chairman, the minister is saying looks like a losing battle. Do I get the impression that it's like he's giving up the fight to protect the lands that the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has across this country that badly need protection from him?
Mr. Chairman, I'm a fighter. I don't give up at all. Yeah. I'm just giving you the current situation that we have been invaded left and right center, and that's what I meant by that.
Chairman, I have a point of interest. Honorable nominee, Honorable Ayaga said you've been playing tennis, and because he was going to settle scores because we're always beating him. Have you been playing tennis with the chief whip from Asawasi as well?
I don't know whether he's ever heard a racket before, but not to my knowledge.
No, but would you want to take him to the tennis court? Because he's been your good friend. He's been your good friend. Yeah. You know, he has his lenses down and he's asking his questions down. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, in an answer to an earlier question, about the army worm, the minister gave us these statistics that in 2017 we had to struggle to protect 249,000 hectares of land. Only about 14,000 hectares were destroyed. Then in the following year, it dropped to just 79 hectares. The subsequent year, it further dropped to 26 hectares. And he was telling us on authority that in 2020, no farm was destroyed by the army worm. Mr. Minister, this is what I heard you say. Is that what you said?
That's exactly what I said.
Honorable Minister nominee, I'm sure a lot of farmers who are listening to us will not be happy with you because I can tell you that in 2020, yes, we are still battling with armyworm. Yes, the devastation is not as before, but we still have farms being destroyed. Will you investigate this?
The report for the monitoring for the end of 2020 has not reached me. We are still in the first quarter. There's always a relay, but up to the time the last report came, there was no destruction, zero destruction.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Honorable Deputy Leader, do you have a question for your minister?
Chairman, with what Minority Chief Whip has done, he's covered all my areas. He's covered all my areas. Thank you so much.
Honorable Minister, thank you for attending upon the House to answer questions. You have endured us for nearly 5 hours. You're discharged. Colleagues, please don't leave. We have a quick announcement in our event to inform you.
And that's Dr. Owusu Afriyie Akoto there being discharged by the Appointments Committee of Parliament. He's been going through some questioning by the members about his office he's occupied for the last 4 years and seeks endorsement to occupy it for another 4 years. Issues including food security came up, whether or not food prices comprise as part of the definition of food security, or what exactly food security, and whether there's food security in Ghana are some of the issues. But he talks about the number of jobs created by the Planting for Food and Jobs, and the fact that there's enough food available, and the fact that when you go to the market, food is relatively sold at cheap prices. And those are some of the issues that were raised by the members, and those were some of the responses they got from the Minister Designate for Agriculture. He's just been relieved by the chairman of the Appointments Committee. Let's take some messages. We're back with Joy News Prime.